Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Tough Talk Tuesday. This is a heavy bag boxing team. I'm your host, Robert Alexander. Alongside me is Lucas Biggers, Shakura Armstrong. Guys, we had a big weekend of boxing last weekend. We got another, eventful weekend coming up. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody feeling?
Awesome.
Yeah, good weekend. I'm off, so yeah, it is what it is.
So, guys, let's jump right in. There's a lot to talk about with last weekend's fights. But first and foremost, what is your reaction to the fight? Just the overall card, the overall event. It was on pay per view. I know a lot of people streamed it. I don't know if a lot of people bought it. What's your reaction, though, to the event itself?
Overall, not bad. Pay per view worthy, but not overall, not bad.
So, Lucas, are you saying that because you didn't like the card, or are you saying that because of the main event?
Main event was a little lackluster, but you know, overall, it was still It would have been a good, free weekend type thing, but a bad pay per view overall.
Shakur, what are your thoughts about the pay per view event? Did you like it? You disliked it? I know you was mad you had to pay.
Yes, definitely. First, I got like a Showtime bill. I got another Showtime bill. Like they were back to back months of high bills because of my need to pay per view click. And so I was like, damn, I don't want to pay for this one. That'll be 3 months in a row. But I was disappointed in the main event. I thought it was going to be a lot more action. And, I love the Josito Lopez fight, though. So he didn't disappoint me. He's always like a fan favorite for me. And the rest of the card was okay, too.
Yeah, I think
So
we were light with the Josito Lopez. I mean, that did kind of steal the show.
so
Mm-hmm.
that pretty much, yeah, that stole the show, but that's how brutal boxing can be. That just shows you how brutal the sport can be. Josito Lopez was the underdog in that fight. I was shocked to see that online, that he was really the underdog in that fight. So that was crazy to me. Overall, though, I will have to say I liked the card. Um, the issue to me was it didn't have the names there. It really didn't have the names, but we got to see action, being that at least they had some welterweights on the card. It wasn't these flyweights, it wasn't these bantamweights going at each other. It was some true live welterweights fighting on the card. So I really think that's why we had an eventful and action on the undercard itself. Shakura, you are muted, doll. You're muted, Shakura.
Oh, yes. Welterweights are not welterweights. The problem for me was that the prize fighting welterweights, okay, that was the main event, it wasn't enough action between the two of them. Like
Okay, let's discuss that.
it's
Y'all
just
say there wasn't enough action. Everybody is sitting here trying to downplay this, okay? Spence has been out of the ring for so long. We knew there was going to be rust there. You
hold on
obviously
a
knew there
second.
was going to be
Hold on a
ring rust
second.
there.
See, you're going the wrong direction with this. Nobody said that Errol Spence didn't have the action. I'm saying we didn't get action between the two of them enough. Like it wasn't no back and forth action packed fight. That when I say action packed, I mean from both opponents. I'm not saying Errol Spence didn't do everything he was supposed to do. I mean, I'm not saying he wasn't action packed. I mean, he was landing a lot of stuff. Instead of Danny Garcia appearing and being a fighter that we know he can be, was it Errol Spence that made him look like he was just an average boxer? Or was it Danny being his worst enemy by not acting and having any urgency for the fact that he was in there with supposedly someone that had been in an accident prior and had been out for so long and who was right for the picking. You know what I'm saying? I'm kind of like on the fence as to which one it was, but I don't want you to say that I'm against Errol Spence action. No, 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 no. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is it wasn't enough action packedness based on the way this was sold, based on the level and caliber of both of these welterweights in the division. These are top five welterweights.
Yeah, I
So
mean, most people thought, as well as me, that just the style clash given, I mean, would cause a lot more excitement than what it did. Let's see. Brett Reed says Garcia is officially a gatekeeper and is becoming like Bronner, not engaging enough.
Hmm. I was
so
thinking that. I was thinking that Garcia was not letting his hands go enough, and was very much, as he is saying, looking like how Broner has all this talent and all this skill, but won't let his hands go in the actual fight. So, like, yeah, I agree with him.
He left a lot of fight on the table. I
But I
mean,
ain't gonna call him no gatekeeper though, Lucas. That was wrong.
yeah, I don't know if I go that far just yet, but like I said, he did leave a lot still on the table. I think it could have been a different fight should Garcia continue to pressure, but he was meeting some counters, so I understand why he was hesitant. But
Hmm.
so it's exactly what you said to me, in my opinion, Shakura, is Danny looked bad because Errol looked so much better. He was the better fighter. We all knew he was the better fighter going into the fight. The only question was, will there be ring rust and how much of it? And let's face it, he didn't show much of any ring rust in there at all. He showed us the real Errol Spence, what we've seen time and time again. Only thing Danny could do was try to pop shot and land the right hand, which is what he was trying to do for most of the fight. And he was able to land that punch throughout the fight. He just couldn't land enough punches. He didn't throw enough combinations, and he didn't apply enough pressure. But nobody, if you thought that's what was going to happen, then I don't know what type of boxing you've been watching over the past year. Arrow has always shown this in the ring. He's always put together this type of performance. And we knew that he was going to have a dominant performance if he didn't have the rust, and he didn't. So I don't understand why people are surprised. Now, what I don't like is these people out here disrespecting him, down talking him. And then what I really don't like, and I'm sick of hearing, is as boxing fans, we need to get past this bullshit with this. Oh, Pacquiao can beat him. Pacquiao will kill him. If he gets in there with Terrence Crawford, he's a dead man. No, no, that he didn't show any of that night, and you can't base it off of what he did against Danny Garcia. Let's face it, these people need to get into the ring together, and then we will see really what both of them are capable of doing. Because everybody sits here and wants to compare, based on this performance, what Crawford will do to him, what Pacquiao will do to him, and it's not going to go down that way.
Hmm.
well, I mean, yeah, I definitely agree. There was no ring rust at all for Spence. If not, he actually looked improved, which is scary. Brett Reed says Manny versus Errol. Will that one happen? And can Errol handle that kind of pressure, seeing that Manny looks so good versus a rusty Thurman? There's a lot of question marks in that fight, Brett. One is can Manny still compete at a high level? I mean, I know it wasn't that long ago, but when you start to reach Manny's age, every fight, a month is like a year. He's, that old man syndrome starts to set in, and it gets harder and harder. So, uh, I would hope if he can manage the same performance. I mean, it's even then it's going to be a close fight against Errol. Um, Guys, how do you see that one going? I mean, is that the fight you even want to see next? I think a lot of people want Spence versus that legendary name, but honestly, what does he have more that like a Crawford or maybe even a Sean Porter number 2 doesn't? As far as
Hmm.
competition goes.
I just don't even like dealing with hypotheticals that's just that so probably not gonna happen. I mean, I don't see that fight happening, but I guess for entertainment purposes, let's say it does, and let's say that angles of Pacquiao, I guess, versus Errol Spence overall, better defense or better this or better that. I mean, with the experience of Pacquiao and the angles and the still fastness, basically, I mean, have anything to do with a younger, more. Wait a minute. I was about to say more hungrier, but I don't see that. I don't see that hunger there anymore with Arrow. So I'm not gonna say that, but I will say, a very highly skilled welterweight. How would it match up? And much bigger, by the way, than a Pacquiao. Um, yeah, I think we've been down this road before, and the answer is Pacquiao. We had a younger Keith Thurman. It was highly skilled. He had power, all these things, and it just didn't match up when it came time for Pac-Man. So I'm gonna have to stick with Pac-Man on this one.
Pacquiao takes on Errol Spence, he should retire right after. Because Errol's a real deal. He's not no Keith Thurman. You've just seen what the man can do with ring rust and injuries that he was facing, recuperating from. And he did miles better than Keith Thurman did in the ring, just off of rust and lackluster performance because he hasn't been in the ring that often due to certain injuries, this and that. Errol had a almost career, that could have been a career-ending car crash, and he walked away from it. And he had this performance on Saturday. Errol's the real deal. Pacquiao should not get in the ring.
Wait a minute. What are you saying? So you saying Pacquiao isn't the real deal? What are you saying?
Pacquiao was the real deal. He's not the real deal anymore. Let's face it. You cannot get back in the ring after a year layoff at that age and not have it creep up on you. Especially going up against a young bull like Errol Spence.
To keep it going at that age, I agree. It's going to be difficult, and Spence is maybe even like the new Pacquiao, so we'll see how that goes. Let's see. Tony Reviews at Heavy Bad Boxing. What's going on? First time listener. I am just checking out other boxing channels. Well, welcome. Good. You can definitely keep commenting, and we will definitely read over it and talk about what you guys are saying here. Let's see. Brett says Crawford didn't call Errol out post-fight. Makes me wonder if he was there just to be an intimidating presence and hoping that Danny won because Al Heyman ain't letting that happen. Crawford versus Spence, that is. Clarence says, leave that old man alone. I mean, the problem is, man, he's still competing at a high level. I mean, yes, Thurman was rusty.
He was competing at a high level. See, that's my issue with y'all. You cannot say that.
Just coming off a win over Thurman, though.
How long ago was that? How long ago was that? How long ago was that, Lucas?
I'm not even sure.
It was
right.
July.
It's been that long ago. It was last July.
That's all right. I mean,
it doesn't matter. He's done longer than a year before. I mean, it's not like he can't. But the problem is that you want to downgrade everybody now just because you saw Spence. Now he's the truth. When just 3 weeks ago, Rob, you'll be the main one talking about, I just can't go with Spence. This is the stuff in the games you play with me.
Against Crawford, that's a different story. We're not talking about that story right now. We're talking about Pacquiao. That was the question possessed, right, Lucas? It was the Pacquiao. So then let's go on that topic since you want to, Shakura. How can this fight with Crawford be made? Because at this point, I think the whole world's getting sick of these shenanigans.
Well, damn. I mean, we really moved far into it because I didn't even get into the fact that I think Danny needs an addition to his training team. But now that you want to talk about Bud versus Spence, I mean, people are really disappointed in the fact that neither one of them called out each other when in their respective post-fight interviews. And you got to ask yourself, what is that about? I mean, I saw a video this week, guys, and I don't know if y'all saw it, but it was like Roy Jones on top calling out people, calling out different people, and then they cut the screen, and the other half was Errol Spence talking about how he was going and gonna get a horse and go to his ranch, and maybe we'll fight in the summer. Like it was like it was so dramatic the way they did it. So shout out to whoever created that. But I'm just like not seeing no passion, no hunger no more. And you know, the fact that Bud was there, I mean, really, I was surprised when the Fox commentators actually, you know, said that he was there and introduced him as an actual champion in the division. So I think that wouldn't have happened unless him and Al Heyman are in the talks. I don't believe none of that would have happened if he hadn't been in the talks. Yeah, you can go to an event. You can go to an event and you can kind of like stalk somebody, see what you want to see, what they look like and stuff like that. But you're not going to have commentators actually acknowledging you exist who have ignored your existence for about a year and a half to 2 years now. So I really feel that there's something in the works brewing.
Dale.
However, where the hell is they at with these damn call outs? Do you want to fight the man or not, Spence? Do you want to fight the man or not, Bud? Like, I mean, don't say it's on the media and it's on fans to say whether or not you should fight. Who the hell you want to fight to say you're the best?
Yeah, I mean,
Cookies got
Time
something
for
up
my
there.
drink.
I don't know. I mean, I agree with what she's saying. I mean, it seemed a little lackluster at the end. You're hoping for some more, like calling somebody out, or, it was a fight that felt like it was supposed to be going somewhere, and then it just stopped. He had a great performance, and he made an exclamation point on it, but then he didn't follow up. Let's take a look here. See, Dale says, "Come on, Rob." Garcia wasn't even in the fight. He came just to show up, not to show out. By the way, you can rest assured Crawford won't be laying back and waiting for the reaction from his counter shots. Time for Garcia to start looking for a new trainer, or he will become a glorified gatekeeper, in my opinion. That is a very uh, widespread opinion that Garcia needs to leave his dad. What do you guys think about that? Because, I mean, it does seem time for me, but, let's see what you
I
guys
don't
think.
think he makes it without his father in his corner, but I feel like they need somebody who can give better directions and kick his damn ass in training. And not only that, slap him a couple of times when he's in the corner acting like he has 59 rounds available to him to catch up in a fight. I mean, where was the urgency in the corner?
Hmm.
Like, well, I mean, like, hey, what you doing? And then give some actual direction on what you can do when Arrow is making these certain moves and using the jab throughout the fight. But I'm like, when you're at this stage in your career and you're ranked so high, I mean, shouldn't you know how to work around a jab?
I mean, especially with Angel, keep him on as a co, but in the last round there was really not much instruction at all. I mean, if nothing else, I'd have been like, "Hey, you need a knockout. You know, go out there and try to take his damn head off." You really got nothing out of him. I mean, for the most part. Let's see. Ramon
It was
Johnson
more than
says,
just the one round, too, Lucas. It was several. Like the second half of the fight is when I would have started getting real nervous and really, speaking to him and trying
"Yeah,
to get inspiration out of Danny.
yeah," but it wasn't much at all, and that was not good. I mean, he definitely needs to think about it. Uh, Ramon Johnson says, "Dude, Bud can't sell shit. If it was for Bud that said no to a 60-40 split, that's why Manny and Spence not fighting Bud." Sherman Henson
So
says, "Butt will be leaving Top Rank, but cannot say anything until he leaves Top Rank. That was Bud Crawford. Guarantee you, but Bud Crawford is talking to Al Heyman." Yeah, I mean, there's talks that, yeah, I expect Crawford probably to be leaving Top Rank here pretty soon, but nothing's over till it's over. Money talks, so we'll see. I think he definitely wants him PBC, and I think without it, he really doesn't have much of a career future without it. It's going to be very hard to make those fights, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, he needs it. He needs it. Um, who needs who more? I think they both need each other equally.
Mm-hmm.
Because anybody that Spence fights at this point that's not a Bud Crawford, he's gonna get the same shit that Bud's been getting for his opponents. And if he chooses to fight a Porter again or a or somebody else he's already fought, I can't think of names right now. But if he chooses to fight people that he's already fought, people are gonna really be like, "What the hell? We don't want to see that fight again." I mean, Sean Porter was the best at explaining it. He was like, I'd rather fight a Bud Crawford right now because that's something that nobody's seen. People have seen me against, Spence right now. I mean, this would be something that would be more anticipated even for him. So, you take that same philosophy and you bring it over to a Spence versus another Porter fight, and you're gonna get the same situation where people are gonna be like, Spence, come on now, stop stalling for time and this and that. You can ask for this fight if you want it. So I think he gets just as much shit. So with that being said, is it a 50-50 fight at that point? I don't
No, let's
think
face it. Period. Bud is ran out of opponents. Period. When your last two fighters, you destroyed Kell Brook and Amir Khan at their level, you ran out of opponents. So he needs to come to the table with PBC. And Aram's making that easier for him by saying, look, I'm losing money off the guy. So if Aram's losing money, go ahead and do Aram a favor and leave his ass. Now, I do want to put attention on something, Lucas, because Lucas has attacked my man Danny Garcia repeatedly over one damn fight about him being a cherry picker. And let me tell you, I'm going over this man's resume, and he has a hell of a resume with Angel by his side. And the names, you got Nate Campbell, Eric Morales twice, Amir Khan, Zab Judah, Lucas Matissa, Herrera, Lamont Peterson, Paulie Malignaggi, Robert Guerrero, Brandon Rios, Adrian Granados, Ivan Redcat. The list goes on, and the man still only lost to Sean Porter, Errol Spence, and Keith Thurman, the three-headed monsters in that division. I
I,
don't think.
you
I
coming
don't.
at me? I get a chance to respond, right? Because I mean, let's go back over some of those names there. You said Eric Morales, and you called that out like it was a good thing.
Eric Morales is a living legend. I don't care what y'all say. He's a living legend.
He was a living punching bag, though, when he fought him. Okay? That was not Eric Morales, the legend that you know him. That was, a shadow of his former self. Now, you said Herrera. Herrera beat his ass. I don't care what the scorecards said. Them Puerto Rican scorecards were wrong.
I'll agree with that.
What else you got? Because I kept this
Zab
coming.
Judah,
Zab Judah was
Zab
old.
Judah,
Zab Judah was on his way
Amir
out.
Khan, Amir Khan,
Amir Khan is
Lucas
just a name.
Matisse,
Amir Khan is nothing.
Lucas Matisse, Paulie Malignaggi,
I give you Matisse, Robert Guerrero.
Paulie Malignaggi, Brandon Rios.
Brandon Rios was on his way out too, and that his last
Oh,
fight.
see now, folks, this is what I'm talking about when we tell you guys that sometimes the
No,
boxing fans can sit here and give you a jaded opinion of another fighter by calling somebody old or
Rob,
saying he's going out.
it's a fact, man. I mean, honestly, look at Brandon Rios versus Mike Alvarado 1, and then you take a look at Rios versus Bradley, and then you take a look at Rios versus Garcia. You cannot tell me that you do not see the decline of the fighter.
Lucas, you
I
got
see
some
the
different
fact.
comments.
I see the fact that Danny Garcia won those fights against some legends in the game, some big names in the game, and y'all need to give him credit.
Well, wow. I mean, okay, I would agree. He does have some good names on there. My thing is in the ring the Saturday night, it didn't seem as though he had those names on his record to be able to grab experience from, to know, he stuck with the same game plan the entire fight. You got to switch that shit up. All the top prize fighters, especially at welterweight, know how to, they're adaptable. Or that's what divides the real next level type fighter from regular fighters. You know what I mean? Because that's what a Pacquiao and a Floyd Mayweather had. They could adapt to you. So I mean, I'm trying to figure out, like, what's the point in fighting all these fighters with these records, or non-records as y'all want to say, or fighters that's passed or whatever. But you look at that record, it's supposed to mean something. It's supposed to be indicative of what we expect from a boxer in the ring, in a big fight. Now,
So
I don't know what to say about Danny's record, but I'm feeling like he really has to change up something seriously. He has to change up something, because every time he steps up to fight one of these three-headed monsters, as you called them, but then yet again just said that they wasn't that good. Just saying.
when did I say that? I never said that about Porter. I never said that about Thurman.
You just said that about Thurman.
I
But
never said he
anyway,
was not
I'm
that good. I
gonna
never said
say
that. I said he was rusty and he had issues. Come on now, roll the tape
what
back,
I'm
Shakur. Do I
saying.
need to roll the tape
What
on
I'm
you?
saying. Okay, you inferred that he wasn't all that. So
I said he was
what I'm gonna
rusty.
say, you like my word, inferred, right? So
I said he was rusty.
uh-huh. So what I'm saying is, if that's going to be the case, then yeah, you do have to wonder whether or not you're supposed to be in that category or that ranking of welterweights or not. So
Right.
like, let's not even question who he fought and who he didn't fought. Let's question, like, when you're at the stage you're at and you just had, a big fight, what was your level? What did you look like in that fight?
Well, that was his flaw. Go ahead,
Let's go
Lucas.
to some comments here. Let's see. Clarence says Porter and Crawford is a must. No ducking this one. I guarantee it has to happen. I'm agreeing with you. I think that's one of the more exciting fights to happen. CJ Hooker winners fight for undisputed welterweight championship. Al Heyman has all. Oh, this is Sherman. Sorry. All good. Al Heyman has all of the good 47 pounders, so it would be Crawford's advantage to sign with him to get those fights. I mean, that's what's best for business. That's what's best for boxing. And that's definitely what's best for him. Um, Brett Reed, Tim Tazao has a fight coming up on the 16th. Then he gets a shot at the world stage, perhaps versus J Rock, or Rosario keeps an eye on him. He's the son. Okay, let's see. Clarence McLean. Damn, this Porter versus Rob. Poor Rob. Brett, stop fighting, kids. If you guys had to pick one right now, because I mean, this is what we always go back to is Spence versus Crawford. I don't think either one of them's ducking anybody. I think it's mainly the business, mainly the channels getting in the way, as well as the promotions. I think this fight is inevitably going to happen. It may happen a little too late, but I want to see what you guys think, and who do you actually have as a favorite going into that fight? Because Vegas has released the odds already, and it seems like
And
Spence is the favorite. Barely, but
I
still a
think
favorite.
me, I think me and Shakur are in agreement on this one. Terrence Crawford all the way. Terrence Crawford.
Yeah,
I
you're not gonna be able to stop Terrence Crawford with a jab. Put it that way. You're gonna have to pull out a lot more tricks and bags than that.
well, you didn't have to stop him with it. It's not. That's really not always what a jab is for. But regardless, I don't know. I mean, I've seen some things, but like you said, Crawford's kind of a slow starter, and Spence not so much. So I can.
So
It's going to be a close fight regardless. But
here's what I'm breaking it down to you for though. And this is the way that what I've seen and what everybody's seen with Errol Spence. He has dominant performances, like these performances that he did Saturday night. They're not Mayweather like performances. Yeah, he's dominant. He looks good, but to me, he's not completely 100% fully breaking the guy down. And if you sit here and tell me that, why did Danny Garcia get 4 rounds? So that's the issue that I have looking at Errol Spence. And then he fights a guy that, and he fights guys that he should actually knock out in a fight. And he tries to break them down and outbox them. He's trying to outbox people too much. He doesn't have that grit in him to take anybody out. He doesn't have that grit in him to really put a hurting on somebody. And Terrence does. And Terrence does. And I don't feel like Spence can outbox Terrence Crawford. I think he's going to get in trouble.
I don't think Crawford can hurt him. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Garcia was landing some flush shots, not just to the body, but to the head as well. And I mean, Errol did not skip a beat. He did not acknowledge his power all. He did not respect it. I mean, I'm worried for Crawford in this fight. It would be a good one, but we're all just still hoping for right now.
I know. I hate to get all excited about a fight that we may not see. And that's the way I don't want to have that feeling again, for all those years that everybody wanted Mayweather and Pac, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to get all hyped like that. And then, it just was dragged on too long. So what I will say is the only way we're going to know for sure is if this fight is made.
And that's not happening anytime soon. Maybe should Crawford leave Top Rank, and I think that's going to be inevitable as well. But
well,
so
let's see.
That's true.
So what comments you got, Lucas, before we move on to this weekend?
Brett Reed says, you don't know who Kostoya Tozawa is. He was the first in 30 years to unify the lightweight division. You talking lightweights, you ain't talking Rob.
Wow.
He admits that, though. Rob just doesn't have any respect for the lower weights. Then he said gave Zeb Judah the stinky leg. CJ Hooker says, Spence's head movement concerns me. I think Bud will be able to get some solid shots on him.
I mean, Danny got some on him too. It was just pop shots though. He was trying for one shot only.
Now, I mean, I do think that Errol Spence has an amazing chin, but I also think that Bud sometimes shows that he has a suspect chin. Well, I don't want to say suspect, but he has been dropped before.
I mean, you can say it. You can say suspect. That's all right. You can say
two
suspect.
Times. I mean, I'm not gonna say suspect because the two that he got knocked down by, were known for power. That was their main thing. So, I mean, I'm just saying that it's not. It's a possibility that Crawford could also have some knockdowns. Spence could have some knockdowns too because he's been fighting lower, not lower weight, but smaller welterweights for the most part, except for Danny. I just don't feel like Danny actually landed enough to have any effect on him. I mean, you got to systematically break people down and then go for the KO unless you're, a monster puncher like Wilder. And, those aren't born every decade.
So speaking of the heavyweight, Shakur, let's go ahead and go into this weekend's fights. We have the heavyweights, DAZ, and you have Anthony Joshua versus Pulev. Yeah. First of all, guys, is this something that you're looking forward to? And in this event, and do you see it being a valid opponent for Joshua? Not everybody at once.
Well, it was that last part that you added on there when you said the valid.
Yeah, that's what I kind of stuttered on too. Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm not looking forward to this fight. I mean, I'm not thinking that it's going to be a war or anything. I love my action. But the other thing, like you said, is it a valid opponent? Yes, absolutely. The man has been knocked out by Ruiz. So yeah, I see. I mean, why wouldn't he be a valid opponent? Anybody in the heavyweight division is a valid opponent against anybody because that's how heavyweights work. I mean, it only takes one punch from somebody that's over 200 pounds, and I don't give a damn who you are. We might see some fireworks. So
I
it's possible.
mean, yeah, I mean, after the Garcia fight, I think everybody's thinking, you might want to tune into every Joshua fight because who knows? I mean, I'm not saying Andy Ruiz doesn't have power, but
Yeah.
I'm simply saying he's not the most powerful heavyweight there is. Um, it's more of his speed, but I mean, that means Pulev might be able to put him out too. So, I mean, is still vulnerable. CJ Hooker says Joshua better win. Clarence says AJ. Um, so yeah, I mean, I think most people are going into it already thinking though that this is basically Joshua's fight to lose. So is it going to be like a close fight as a lot of people predict? I mean, I don't think a lot of people are going into it thinking that. No, I think most fans are coming into it thinking this is a pretty one-sided fight.
When was his last fight anyway? Who left?
See that? Well, Pulev's last fight, I think, is when he got in trouble with the. Remember, he got in trouble with the commentator, with the press girl, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, I think he got a little suspension with that too. So he had a little suspension, and then they lifted it for him, afterwards. But for me, I'm just happy to see Joshua, and I think that he needs to be put up a showing worthy of that. I think he needs to understand that these fans Saturday are only tuning in to watch him, and he better put on a hell of a performance and a nice show. Take out the guy when you're supposed to. Give us a little knockout action. Give us a little show because we're excited to see heavyweights right now. We haven't seen them all year at this level. We haven't seen the big guys. We haven't seen a lot of our big stars at all this year until recently. So now they're starting to come out, and I don't care what you say, there's no division on earth like the heavyweight division. That's where the moneymaker is in the sport. That's one of the biggest sport divisions in the world is the heavyweight division. So that's what I'm looking forward to. If the opponent is valid or not, we'll have to see come Saturday night, depending upon what type of performance he can put on. But I think it's time for us to see Joshua, and it's time for us to see him big.
Hmm.
I I don't know. For me, Joshua Pulev, it doesn't really spark a lot of interest. Like I'm gonna watch it, but nah, I don't know. I I mean, honestly, I'd rather see like a loser bracket from Wilder and maybe like an Ortiz fight. Um, either one. I mean, Joshua Ortiz, Joshua Wilder, both those options
Now,
are
let me
better.
put a disclaimer on here, folks. Lucas is not sold on Anthony Joshua. That's why he's saying this.
Of course, I'm not. Andy
Not either.
Ruiz, no, I don't. I think a lot of the public isn't. Let's see. Barrow says, "Let's hope Joshua don't underestimate his opponent this time." CJ Hooker, if Joshua has boxer's physique instead of a bodybuilder's physique like he did in his loss to Ruiz, then he should win easy. Juan Jr., I agree, man. Come on, man.
Uh,
So I'm taking that
why
we
are you sitting up there acting like you're not sold on AJ either? Sitting up there putting all this pressure on Lucas. You are not sold on him either.
I don't think any of us are.
yes, I am sold on
You're
him.
sold on. You're
I
sold
think
on.
he's one of the top. I think he's one of the top
Look,
heavyweights in the division.
look,
If not the top heavyweight in the division. Look, the man had a setback. The heavyweights are known to go undefeated. Okay, the only time heavyweights went undefeated was the Klitschko era, and let's face it, that was the worst era in heavyweight division history.
I'm pretty
So
sure after his loss against Ruiz, You were the guy on the show going, he was who we thought he was. And you were
Right.
saying he was
Don't take my
overhyped.
saying.
You were.
Don't take my saying.
I'm not taking it. I'm literally quoting you. I mean, that's what you were
Sitting up
saying.
here thinking the same thing, Lucas. That's what Rob has said. I mean, from my point of view, the two of these guys, um, I'm sure AJ has, if the betting odds are more in his favor,
Hmm.
and that's just due to his star power
Definitely.
more so than whether or not he's proved it to us or not. And Pulev, I looked it up. It was November of last year for his last fight, and it was against Rydell Booker. Sound familiar?
Mm.
Okay. So these fighters are like worlds apart in their records. The last name that we recognize on Pulev's record is Huey Fury, the cousin of Tyson Fury, and Pulev did pretty good
Mm.
in
Yeah.
that fight. So to me, that boosts him up a little bit more. So to say AJ is like a sider in this fight, I can't do it. I
Well,
can't.
he is the
He
A
is
side.
though. He
He
is
is the
though.
A side,
I said,
and
Uh,
he'll
I said
prove
an
it to y'all on
A
Saturday.
side, guys, an A side.
like
Like
the
he's
like
not
the
like
upper side. Okay.
yeah, like it's not like he's like, oh, this is a no brainer. This is a tune up fight. Like no.
Dante Selby says his chin is too suspect to have faith in. Uh, and Barrow says, "What? Oh my God!" Talking about you, what you said, Rob. That's when I quoted you, so to speak. So the question is not if we think Joshua's going to win this fight. I think everybody's going to be picking Joshua for this one, unless I'm wrong. Please step in and predict Pulev at any point. But it's really, can he beat the Tyson Fury? Can he beat a Deontay Wilder?
Now here we go again with all that hypotheticalness. Look,
Well,
he's
the
fighting on
hypothetical is,
Saturday.
is the point because he has multiple belts. He should not be fighting a Pulev. He needs to be fighting and unifying the titles.
None of those two have fought yet, even this year. So you got to give the man credit for at least stepping up and giving us a show in the heavyweight division. I give him credit for that. Now, next year, there's no excuses. Next year, I believe there should be no excuses for these guys, period. Especially when the fans come back into play. And we have some arenas and situations where they are coming back. So they have no excuses next year. But like I said, I'm just happy to see this type caliber of a fighter here and fighting in 2020. It's the way it's where we're at.
Okay. Well, that's very generous of you, honey.
Let's see. Um,
So
Juan Jr. says, remember Bob Arum mentioned that Pulev is going to win, which I hope he does. Then we got Dante Selby again.
I'm
Says
sorry, man. I gotta say it. I don't believe shit in Bob Arum anymore. I don't believe his ass at all. I
his
think he's got Alzheimer's. He can't
No.
even remember who his fighters are fighting.
Yeah, but you know what? Bob Arum, he has been stacking up a lot of heavyweights over there lately. He's signed like 4 different heavyweights. So he's gearing up to have lots of opponents with someone.
one of the best promoters of all time.
So I know he's planning something to do with those heavyweights. You're not stacking those up. But you know what that also tells me is that he could bring in some welterweight action too if he wanted to.
See a heavyweight tournament. That's what I'm talking about. Dante Selby says his last tune-up fight, stay busy fight, he got dropped 4 times. Dante
Mm.
Selby, they fought this year in February. Barrow says I'll go with Joshua.
All right, guys. So I'll save the best for last because I don't want to take up too much time tonight. So the last topic is the best topic. Floyd Mayweather Jr. announces he's coming back out of retirement next year to fight an exhibition bout against Logan Paul. Now, if you see my colleagues right now, pitching a fit in their chairs, it's because they do not like talking about this. It's because they do not like talking about these events. But let's face it, guys, this is a huge money grab for Floyd. And you know he's probably going to dub it as revenge for his man, Nate Robinson. So we got to talk about it. It's breaking news all over ESPN. Number one, is this truly going to happen? And if so, what are your thoughts on it?
You're damn right it's going to happen, but first I got to go back to a comment here. Let's see. Dale says, time and time again, this is why I reiterate, if the federal government would regulate boxing, the sanctioning bodies would have to honor their rating systems, period. I cannot agree more with that. Dale, I agree completely, buddy. The federal government does need to step in. I think it's ridiculous how many different state rules there are. One of which, as the fight we're speaking of, this should not even be able to be made. This fight should not be able to be made. You have a 50-0 guy, probably the best fighter that you're going to see alive, or at least living, going against somebody who's just a YouTube celebrity. This is truly like the old MTV show. What's the name of that? Shocks vs. Jocks or something like that. Where, except they're playing it. Why is boxing being done this way, but no other sport? I don't see Michael Jordan coming back and doing a game of 21 on pay-per-view. Why do they do boxing like this, okay? You're using the sport as an ATM. It's getting embarrassing, okay? If you're coming back, Floyd, I don't care if you don't take on the strongest opponent, but at least take on an actual fighter. Not a YouTube star that you could put in the hospital. Juan Jr. says, come on, man. But at the end, we are all going to watch, and we have to understand it's an exhibition. No, we're not all going to watch. I'm not watching that shit. Why would I pay $60 to a fight I already know the outcome to?
All right, hold on. Let me tell you something.
First of all,
Let me give you the info.
It ain't $60
It is.
yet.
It's
It's cheaper right now.
It is $24.99.
Yeah.
$24.99 for the first million buys. $69.99 after that.
Yeah.
So you
No
get your
49.
first million buys, $25. You're getting a discount. He's giving you people a discount.
Look, this Robbie, I know you're not defending this shit, man.
Man, you know I'm gonna try to sell this fight. You know why? Because we all are gonna watch it. We
Why
all
not?
are gonna watch it.
I'm not watching it unless it has like a decent undercard that actually has something to do with boxing. I'm not watching celebrities fight.
Oh, wait a minute. How you gonna not watch it, but you watch Tyson? It's
Thank
the
you.
same
Tyson's
principle.
different.
No, not only that, you watched Nate Robinson versus Logan Paul.
Because
And
it
then
came on before
hold on.
Tyson.
hold on, people. Hold on, people. And I quote, Lucas says, I need to see Logan Paul in there against a professional. You did say that.
Okay. I said, no, that's not what I said. That was close, but not what I said, okay? What I said was, if he's going to go back in there again, because he actually has some skill and he's been trained now, properly trained, then he needs to start going against actual boxers because he's saying publicly that he wants to beat up people that don't pretty much know anything about boxing. He wants to beat up rap stars, basketball players, basically any other celebrity just to get some money and just kick the shit out of them. Well, yeah, because you've been properly trained on boxing. No, you're a boxer, so fight a boxer. You know what I'm saying? This can't keep going like this. It's ridiculous.
I'm sorry.
Everybody
is
laughing. It's not
so
funny.
I'm laughing because I knew you was gonna get super passionate about this. And one of the first words out of Rob's mouth for the news alert was, "It's an exhibition." You know where he got you messed up at? He literally made you mad on purpose, Lucas, because he said coming out of retirement. Well, technically, you're not coming out of retirement because you're not trying to fight professionally. You're saying you're gonna, fight on an exhibition. That's not coming out of retirement. I mean, I have no problems with this because guess what? You saying why is this being done to our sport? It's because our sport is who you get the money from. It's like we got money just coming out everywhere. I'll pay for that. I'll pay for this. I'll pay for that. Football fans, they ain't paying for shit. but the Super Bowl tickets. And that ain't everybody that can even go to that. I mean, basketball, they don't have to pay for shit. We are the only people, we are the only sports fans that have to pay to watch our sports. Tennis, golf,
And it's supposed to be the
no,
poor man's sport, but it's not. Not anymore,
not
anyway.
anymore. We are mucho dinero aficionados.
Barrow's backing me up. Said, but that was two real boxers, brah. It's two real boxers. Juan goes on to say he's going to watch it. I guarantee you that if you don't like Jake Paul, you want him to get KO. That's the real reason people watching. I mean, I don't want to see it that bad. I don't
Okay.
care if they were that's Dale Peoples. I don't care if they were giving me the $24.95. I'm gonna watch the paint dry. At least I know that won't insult my intelligence. Barrow says, "Well, in that case, put Ti on his ass." Then, LOL. Look, I mean, this is how I feel about it. I mean, I want to start seeing Michael Jordan, LeBron on 21. That's a pay-per-view. People would pay for that. Why they got to make a mockery of boxing? I don't understand it.
Oh, they keep trying to lie to us and tell us, oh, it's because it's going to bring more people to boxing. It's going to bring a whole nother generation of people to boxing. And it's like a big, like, no, you can use any benefit you want to. I don't care, but don't just that's just a damn lie. These people, they come over, they watch who they want to watch from their followers, who their influencer is, and then they jump their ass right off. They are not like sticking around to watch all these other fights. Meanwhile, when they have these exhibitions, they don't mention any of the current champions, any of the current players in the real sport. So what would make them more interested in watching more boxing? I don't know.
Right. I mean,
so you know what?
I wanted to see
You know
Tyson's
what?
return. I think everybody was curious, but at the same time, it was a whole false advertisement. Because, like I said, all these common fans are like, "Oh, Tyson's making a run at it. He's gonna be, heavyweight champ again." No, man, and people are still thinking that. Even after what they saw, they still think Tyson's making a run for it.
And
This
that's
is the
crazy.
problem.
And that's what's gonna hold this pay-per-view event, because them Logan Paul fans are just like them Trump people, where Trump still won the election. They think Paul's gonna beat Floyd.
I'm worried about anybody that thinks Paul's going to beat Floyd. Unless Paul comes in at like 200 pounds and Floyd allows it. And even then, I don't know.
Well, what do you guys think? I mean, I think it's a great idea for fun to just have a night of fun like we just had. And we saw that people bought it. It was like 1.5 million buys. I'm sorry, buys. It was the word they used. So, why wouldn't they do it again? Of course they're going to do it again.
And it's not like, look, he fought Conor McGregor to how many people? And Conor had an 0-0 record. It was his debut. Paul is 2-0.
That's back to what I was talking about, the federal government, though. I think
But it's not a real fight, so the boxing commission wouldn't say no to that because it's an exhibition. It's not like a professional bout.
I mean, you step in there though, it comes with risk, regardless. I mean, you're still
Yeah,
going
just
in
like
there.
Tyson and Jones showed us how much
mean,
risk
hey.
they were going to take.
Tyson landed some good body shots. He could have. I mean, Roy might be pissing some blood the next morning. I don't know. All I'm saying is what are they gonna do this with headgear? No.
They're going to
Then
try.
it's a fight.
California.
It ain't no damn exhibition. Cause
This will not be in California, I guess. I don't know, but well, it might because that's where his last fought at. I mean, the time before that when he fought the other YouTuber. Like it was in California at the Staples Center. So they might stick to where a lot of his audience and fans are, but I mean, then they're gonna be trying to do headgear and all this other kind of stuff. 2 minute rounds. So
But look what happened
Paul
with Tyson.
versus Robinson an exhibition?
yes.
He got knocked all the way out. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm laughing
It
about
don't
it
matter.
because
The commission should not sign off on the fight. I don't care if it's an exhibition or not.
So look what
Well,
happened in the Tyson versus Roy. The commission did not want to sanction that. They wanted to sanction it with the rules, and the WBC stepped in. Remember, the commission didn't score the fight. They didn't officially even score the fight to declare a winner. The
Nobody scored the fight.
they
WBC
touched
did.
it.
No,
The
nobody scored the fight.
WBC did.
Nobody scored the fight.
Nobody scored that
The
fight.
fight, the scoring was a myth. Okay, that was a lie, and people knew it was a lie because as soon as everybody heard, oh, they're not even going to judge it. Oh shit, I'm not buying it. Then the WBC was like, wait a minute now, we already put money in this, and we got a belt made. We're ready to give that shit away. y'all better still pay and watch this. We need our money back. So,
Well, they could have made it interesting and actually gave us some fake scores. Damn. I mean, it did say it was a draw. They just went into, they just tallied it up and the judges decided it's a draw.
yeah, no,
You gotta laugh at this kind of stuff because it's for entertainment. You guys don't get professional boxing mixed up with this entertainment. I mean, it's a disclaimer on the flyers and stuff that says exhibition. I don't know what else you want these promoters and stuff to do. They got it on there as disclaimer.
Oh, hold on. I got you, Shakur. I got you.
What exhibition means. They think that's fight.
What the hell?
Exhibition means
I got you.
I
got you, Shakur.
Exhibitions. Everybody knows what exhibition is.
Everybody know that.
I got you, Shakur. Lucas, what is the name of the game in boxing? What do people all love to see in the sport of boxing? What are they going to see?
Fight.
Blood, sweat, tears, and knockouts, right? Who the hell cares who it is in there? As long as you get a knockout,
look, you
as long as you get blood, as long as you get violence, that's what they want to see.
Here's how I know, okay, that they don't know what exhibition means. When you boot up fight night, you go to fight. When that first thing when you're fighting your buddy, it's exhibition. Nobody knows what exhibition means. Plus, depending on what state you're in, the rules are going to be different anyway on what an exhibition might mean. So, who's to say what exhibition really is? It obviously meant a little bit less to Mr. Paul than what it did to Mike Tyson, you know? It's going to be different. I just don't see why this fight needs to happen. All they're doing is making a mockery. And like I said, why is it boxing, though? Why can we not see this with any other sport? Why do we have to differentiate? Why is this celebrity boxing and then over here is regular boxing?
I just told you, because we are the Make It Rain fans. We make it rain, baby.
Well, I'm broke. Gotta pay for stuff.
You saw me talking about my cable bill 2 months in a row getting hit up.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Juan says,
I guarantee you.
Go ahead.
Ladies and gentlemen, I guarantee you, as much as Lucas is down talking this, and he might or might not see it, if Logan Paul beats Floyd Mayweather, he's making us get on the air that night.
Probably, yeah. Juan says, what I would pay for is Plant Benavidez. That's worth every penny for the real boxing fans, which I don't anyway. I have the hookup.
Thanks for being honest. For being honest. But yes, that's absolutely a great fight right there. Would be Caleb Plant and Benavidez. And I think the winner of that should be mandatory for Canelo.
Isn't this a dangerous road we're going down, though, with these celebrity fights? I mean, what really is it good?
Lucas just turns right back to that.
No, I mean, listen, check it out for real, though. Like he's saying, Plant versus Benavidez, right? So Golovkin already has a name built up, and for Canelo has a built-up name, right? What's to stop Canelo from just fighting Justin Bieber now? This is a dangerous road we're going down, guys. And it's going to take away from the real boxing that we have and put on just these crazy shows.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't have no argument with me if they start at least educating these people that's coming over just to watch these YouTubers. I mean, at least give them the opportunity to see some other fights marketed, to cross them over some kind of way. You know, if that happened, you wouldn't hear me complaining at all about it. Remember last year, Lucas and Rob, when Rob had the what would be your boxing wish list?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to know, are we bringing that back this year? Because I'm pretty sure that Lucas is going to say, I wish that these Exhibitions would go away.
Would die, rather and die.
I remember that. That was the weirdest question. It was like, who would be your gravy on your mashed potato?
Thanksgiving.
Oh man, it was.
I think my wish was that we did have a national boxing commission of sorts.
Yeah, I wish either the WB, one of them. I mean, I don't really care. Obviously, I'm not a huge fan of any of them if it comes down to it. I like a lot of things that certain one of them bring to the table. I think each one of them does something differently that I like. The WBC with their the clean boxing program that they have set up, it's great. You have
And
the I
who cares?
right. You have the IBF with their 10-pound rehydration clause. I think that should be around the board for all fights, not just championship fights, but any sanctioned fight. Nobody needs to blow up and do what Canelo does to people. Not just Canelo, but he's the name I'm going to pull out because this was the most obvious. Um, Golovkin and Jacobs, they've all done it. Okay, but I think that's an amazing rule to at least keep going forward. I
Mm.
would like to see them kind of all combine. Forget unifying the belts. I want to see all the belts combined. That would be ideal. Then we have one
That's
belt.
that's Emilio's wish list. He said, "I wish we would at least go back to just two belts. If we could get it to one, I would like." He said he would be ecstatic. So if we could just even get two, but
Man,
how you gonna make up that money that these sanctioning bodies are making off all these other belts?
the
I mean, we'd have to make those two belts more money.
yeah. I mean, you're definitely gonna have to have like the WBC. I would imagine would be the one to do it because they have probably more money than the rest of them, especially with all these belts that they make. So you could just do that and try to buy the WBC buys the WBA, and you know that's really the only way I see it happening, if it happens at all, which unfortunately I doubt. But I'm trying to be an optimist here. Um, that would be ideal for the sport of boxing, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's probably not going to happen. Let's see, we got some.
But don't hate on Floyd and him getting his little money. I mean, and Logan Paul too. I mean, who knows when they're gonna completely say YouTubers, we're not giving you any more checks. We want all the revenue. I mean,
Yeah, I don't care about either one of them. No, they can, they got enough money. I think they're good. Let's see. It's never going to be the same like the old days. The best against the best business would come with that right now. All the opposite of that business. First then fighter, then the best. I sure do miss them old days. Me too. Like Tyson said. I mean, we're going to go back to Tyson, but Tyson said these dudes are businessmen. I was a killer, and he's right because he beat up Mitch Green outside and inside the ring. You don't. I mean, most people now, if you even get in a fight outside the ring, they're just like, "No, we gonna handle this in the ring." Security.
I'll
yeah,
never forget.
Tyson was
I'll
his
ne-
own damn security. Didn't nobody mess with Tyson?
yeah, you're gonna go
yeah.
up to him and be like, "Hey, can I get a picture?" No.
I tried that in Chicago.
What?
I tried that.
And
Lucas
what
remembers
happened?
he sent me to a show. Erickson Lubin was on it when he was first coming up. That was when Tyson had his promotional company with little time that he had it within.
Yes,
It was an
I
ESPN card in Chicago, and Tyson was in attendance, and we all were foaming at the mouth. Me and a couple of the guys tried to walk over there to him, and as soon as we did, the bodyguard was like, mm-mm, "No, mm-mm, go that way." We showed him press pass everything. He was like, "Go that way."
I don't know if
was.
I told you, Rob. I'm sure I sent it in the group message or something, but Taraj P. Henson was even worse. Taraj P. Henson was watching, I think, like one of her cousins fight or something up in Chicago at the Horseshoe Casino. And my wife was just going to snap a picture of him, and the security guard stepped in front of her face and was like, no.
Wow, for a picture.
For a
Damn,
picture.
But you
Floyd
did
don't
get
do
one.
Far
that.
away. From far
But you
away.
did get one.
Oh, we got one, yeah.
Well, Floyd don't even do that. I mean, as long as you're not like interfering with his zone, you can take as many pictures as you want.
Yeah,
So
it was,
damn,
But
it was pretty
Taraji
ridiculous.
was tripping.
that's
Yeah.
that's what I had on the show for y'all tonight, guys. I do want to say one last thing, just on a comical note. Since Lucas wants to go there, since we're going there with the celebrity fights, y'all. Tank versus 6ix9ine. Okay, let's throw that out there in the
Yeah,
mix.
get him,
Since they
Oh
want to,
man,
get him.
since they want to fight in the nightclub, let's see them fight in the ring.
all right, guys.
You wouldn't watch that, Lucas? You wouldn't watch that one? Don't lie.
Maybe.
You know you want to see 6ix9ine get his ass beat.
I apologize to the fans. I'm not sure what happened with Steve Cunningham. I will let you guys know. We will try to reschedule. Um, not sure what happened there, but Steve always came on before. We've had him on several times, so I'm sure something happened. But I didn't want y'all to think I'm false advertising. He was slated to come on, so we will try to get him on for next week. But go ahead, Rob.
No, that's all I had, everybody. Do want to thank y'all for coming and stopping by, especially for our new fans who just checked in. You can join us every Tuesday night. It's 9 p.m. Eastern time, 8 p.m. on the Central. Shakira has to remind me what's that on Pacific? 6 p.m. Pacific time.
I don't even know.
6 p.m. Pacific
Thank you
time, guys.
for all
It's
my
six,
drink time.
eight,
So tune in,
8 p.m. Central.
and of course, you can always find our articles and everything at www.heavy-bagboxing.com.
You got a goddamn website wrong. It's heavybagboxing.com, man.
Well, the heavy dash is the admin site, and I only put it into the admin site, so that's why
We'll
I
be giving
did
out
that.
our admin site, man.
Don't don't go to the admin site. You can always check us out on
Oh
that
man.
Up
website live.
every week.
Please tune in next Tuesday. This is your host Robert Alexander, Lucas Bigger, Shakira Armstrong. Good night, people.
Juan says, great show, guys. I'll be checking in next time. Thank you so much. Definitely appreciate all the fans. And like he
Oh.
said, see you next